Cool. Hi. We're gonna get real close. Thanks for coming out, guys. It's great to be here. First time here, but I'm so happy to be here specifically because we flew Ryanair. Yeah, wasn't sure we were gonna make it. If you're not familiar with Ryanair, it's like a discount airline, and like they don't even have plugs for your phone to charge. They don't want you calling for help. It's ridiculous. You pay like €20 for a flight anywhere, which sounds cheap, but the crazy part is I talked them down to 13. I don't know if they know how to fly well. I mean, flying's not that hard. I mean, I've never done it, but I've watched a few YouTube videos. Can't be that hard. I was on a plane one time and I heard a guy, except for landing and taking off, flying's pretty easy. Yeah, the fucking hardest parts. So I know it's hard, but once you're there, I'm not saying the landing for me, Ryanair, every single time is the worst part because they don't really land the plane as much as they just kind of drop out of the sky at terminal velocity. They're like, let's save some fuel, cut the engines, and then they fall out of the sky. They land the plane like they're about to miss an exit on the Autobahn. They just start cruising along. Oh shit, there's Denmark. Let's go. Like cutting off 7 planes. Hey, fuck you. By the way, I want to tell this story. Steve and I were driving in Amsterdam, and it's very confusing for a foreigner to drive around, and people were like honking at him, so Steve got out of the way, and then someone went by and like rolled down his window, and he was like, like he yawned at him. I'd rather be flipped off. So Ryanair is flying, everyone's yawning at us, and then if you land safely, if they have a jingle, which is my favorite part, like trumpets blaring, oh, is the king here? What's happening? And the jingle goes, last year, over 90% of our flights landed on time. Which is a weird thing to play when your flight was delayed. It's also a weird thing to say if it's on time. I don't even know if 90% is a good ratio or not. I mean, that sounds good. But when you advertise it, you're basically saying 1 in 10 of our flights is delayed. That's weird. Hey, buy 9 flights, your 10th is delayed. That's a really shitty punch card. I don't like that. Imagine walking into Starbucks and every 10th coffee they just throw it in your face. And then they play a jingle, over 90% of our coffee goes in your mouth. Can I speak to a manager? Relax, it's only 1 in 10, you paid $5, fuck off. Yeah, it's a little weird. Also the way that they say it is weird to me. Like they say over 90%. What is that supposed to mean? Why do they say it over 90%? Saying it like that means that like over is the minimum. Does that make sense? Like over 90%. Do they think we're sitting there like, I bet it's 95, they're just being super cool about it. Ryanair doesn't like to brag about it. Over 90% means 90 is the like if someone says my penis is over 3 inches, that doesn't mean 6. Right? It means 3.000001. Like that's how it goes. By the way, I looked it up. Last year, Ryanair was on time for only 84% of their flights. They lied about it. Which means if someone says my penis is over 3 inches, it's actually 2.5. So, the craziest part, my favorite part of this joke is to just walk on stage anywhere in Europe and be like, fuck Ryanair, and you're like, yeah, why would you? Like, we didn't know, we're poor. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, you just universally. I was on the last flight I was on. They're blasting the AC, and this little girl, that was like maybe 8 years old, went up to the flight attendant, and she goes, "Excuse me, can I have a blanket?" And the flight attendant kind of like leaned down, and she goes, "Oh, that's so cute. Do you know what this says?" She's like pointing at the uniform, and she goes, Like, I think she's like, oh, I'm being tested on my reading. She goes, oh, it says Ryanair. And the flight attendant goes, there's your answer, and then walks off. Yeah, now that's not true, I just made that up. But that's how bad Ryanair is. You guys are like, that's perfectly plausible. I 100% believe that. And that's how shitty Ryanair is. I have one more Ryanair story and then I'll move on. We were supposed to be here yesterday. Not my fault. Apparently, we booked the wrong flight. Or the airline that charges €20 fucked up. Who knows which one it could be. Which of these is more like that? I'm not saying that it's not my fault. I'm just saying I've toured the world for 10 years as a comedian. I booked the right flight over 90% of the time. Who knows? Because while we're at the counter, we're like arguing with the guy and he goes, that's probably because of the time change. And we're like, yeah, but it's only 8 hours. That doesn't explain a day. And he goes, yeah, that's a good point. Like, his whole thing was like, I got nothing. So there was a moment where we're starting to doubt the whole process. We're like, did we book the wrong flight? This would be amazing if that's the first time. And then at the counter next to us was a guy complaining about the same thing. But his gate person was much more aggressive, and he was a pussy. So she was like, fuck you, it's the wrong flight. And he's like, I guess it is, I'm sorry. We were like, isn't that the same thing? And she's like, no, it wasn't. And we're like, okay, sorry. I don't want no problems. So we had to get a hotel, and because we were flying at 7 in the morning, I don't even know a lot about checking into hotels. You can't check in most of the time until like 3 p.m. So we're at 7 in the morning leaving the airport in a taxi, and we're like, we're never gonna we're gonna have to sit in the lobby for another 6 hours. It's gonna be miserable. So we came up with a plan where we're like, we'll just come up with like the worst sob story to make the front desk person feel bad for us, and then they'll have to give us. So we walk in to the hotel, and the woman behind the front desk has one arm. Which means any sympathy we were gonna get is out the window. You know what I mean? Our flight got delayed. Oh, your flight got delayed? I have one arm, you know. I don't know why this is the... Let's take on this. So we're like, well, this is our only card, let's play it. And so we go, well, our flight messed up and it's not our fault. And she's not feeling bad for herself. And then Steve goes, we were on Ryanair. And then she goes, oh, here's your hotel room. The lady with one arm was like, your life sucks.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.